Just a couple bad weather fans representing New York, talking all things sports. Man, what could go wrong? We got Alex, who's a fan of the Knicks, and Mike of the Nets. The yin-yang of the tri-state, place your bets on the Yankees, Giants, Mets, or Jets. Yeah, you should listen if they're sparking your interest. If you made a vow to your team, don't break it. Bad weather fans is the relation.
That's right. This is Bad Weather Fans, episode number 172. Mike Biseglia, Alex Vanessowitz. The New York Knicks have been eliminated. And the Brooklyn Nets owner making dumb decisions and then interacting with Net fans on Twitter. Because why the fuck not? Makes a lot of sense. But we are here to celebrate, at least for me, the Knicks season coming to an end. That's where we will start. We're recording this on a Tuesday evening, but of course, this all came to a crashing end on a Friday. So we've had a little bit of time for this to simmer. Alex, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Also, the draft lottery just happened tonight, and the Knicks, of course, did not get any luck in the draft lottery like they never do.
Good.
And the Mavs kept their pick. They tanked, rightfully so. They knew they weren't winning anything with Kyrie anyway. So they said, let's screw this season and rest everybody. And, that's it. And they got their pick, and that was the right thing to do for them. Now they have that asset, and not signing Jalen Brunson to that extension midseason last year really screwed their entire franchise up. And then they make the panic move for Kyrie, and away we go. So I'm not crying for them either. So whatever. Knicks lose. Very, very difficult way that they lost. And they lost in 6 to the 8th seeded team, who was out 2 major rotation players, a starting shooting guard and a major bench player in Oladipo. And I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy that they lost in 6. I'm not happy that they should have been easily in 7. I'm not happy that even would have went to 7. I was just like, it's just one of those series that you went into, we were celebrating. I was cheering for the Heat on the last episode of the episode before when we were like, oh my God, they're going to play the Heat, the 8th seed. We're all excited. I can't now be like, well, oh man, but the Heat are just that good. Like, no, they're fucking not. Like, they got a great coach. They got a great player. They have a great center. That's about it. The rest, you're getting smoked by Caleb Martin and Gabe Vincent. Like, don't give me that they're the better team, because they're not. The Knicks all-star Julius Randle played like ass. He had one good game after an injury, and then the rest of the series, the rest of the playoffs was ass. Is ass. He played like ass. I'll put it that way. And it was bad. Jalen Brunson stepped up pretty much every single game of the playoffs. He played extremely well in a bunch of 30-point games in a row. RJ Barrett, for the most part, in the playoffs after the first 2 games, and then the elimination game were bad. But other than that, he played really well and consistent. And then Julius Randle just was nothing. It was just very, very frustrating. They were out-coached, out-hustled, outplayed by a team that they are more talented than, and it was just extremely frustrating. And in the moment, I was really angry, and I don't understand for the life of me the fans who the night of the night the season ended, moments after they were eliminated, like, oh, well, you know what? Weren't expected to get the second round anyway. Like, can you be angry for 5 minutes? Can you be angry for the evening? I don't understand that at all. You can't go into the series saying it was the 8th seeded team. We should beat this team. We're going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Holy crap. They beat the Bucks, to now being like, well, they were the better team. Like, no, the fuck they weren't. It just is what it is. I'm just mad. I'm still mad. And you know what? It's just, well, I'm over it, but I'm just talking about and reliving it now. It's just getting me angry all over again.
This is great. This is what I want. I'm glad we're doing this. I mean, I knew the Knick fan arrogance was real before the series.
Right.
But the Miami Heat are a better basketball team than the New York Knicks. I'm sorry. They beat them in 6. They beat them in every which way. So you can come on a podcast. You can go on a radio show and you can talk about it. But the Heat proved it on the court. So it really doesn't matter. All the superlatives, everything we say, push come to shove, when they played basketball, the Miami Heat were the better basketball team. And there's no debating it.
But talent-wise, the Knicks had the more talent. The Knicks, top to bottom, had more talent.
There's a little bit of inflation with the Knicks, like all of a sudden Josh Hart became incredible. He wasn't that good when it push come to shove in the next series. Okay. Mitch Robinson, incredibly inconsistent. Your guy Bam was awesome. Jimmy Butler wasn't incredible. He was very good. It wasn't like Jimmy Butler had one of these all-time series where he put the Heat on his back. He didn't really even do that. He was very good, but I wouldn't go along the way of saying like, wow, Jimmy Butler won the Heat that series. It was more of he propelled them to the Heat to have a good series, but I wouldn't say Jimmy Buckets is the reason they won. They got contributions from everybody. They made shots, they got stops, and they were clearly the better basketball team. Now, I think it's easy to say, well, the Knicks are more talented or better than Miami because they had 3 more regular season wins and the Heat underachieved in the regular season. But when it was money time and when it was time that counted, they beat the Bucks in 5. They got a favorable decision with Giannis Antetokounmpo being out, but they took advantage of it and steamrolled them and then got it in 5. And then they took advantage of the Knicks. And this series was over after game 2 when Jimmy Butler was waving goodbye to the crowd. And that series could be 2-0 if Jimmy Butler's healthy. They knew it was over. Knicks had no chance. And that was the difference, man. Like, I understand feeling that way because you had a good regular season, but push come to shove, the Miami Heat were the better basketball team, and they proved it on the court.
Sure, but they also, there were 3 games less in the regular season, 3 or 4 games worse than the Knicks, whatever it was in the regular season. But they also lost Tyler Herro, who was their 3rd leading scorer and their starting shooting guard. They lost Victor Oladipo, who was a major bench player and contributor for them, and former All-Star, right? And he's been injured and he got hurt again, and it's been a sad story with him. But you know what? So it's not like that the talent level of the regular season matters, because they were worse in the regular season and they were even worse on paper going into the playoffs. They lost the play-in game to the fucking Hawks.
Doesn't matter.
You know what I mean? And
Doesn't
so it's
matter.
like they were
matter.
better. They're a better team talent-wise. The Knicks were a better team talent-wise than the Heat. They were.
Does it matter that they lost the play-in game? It doesn't matter. That's
I
irrelevant.
I get it.
And maybe if Tyler Hero's healthy, here's an idea. The Heat win in 4. Maybe they were losing talent in an Oladipo and Hero there. They beat him in 4.
I get
Maybe
it.
they're even better. So they beat him in 6 without these guys.
But I get that. I'm saying just if you looked at player for player, you want to do player for player, which guy's better, Bam or Mitch? Bam. Randle or whoever they started at power forward was Randle. It's just like Alex. Down the road, Knicks. Besides Butler and besides Bam, the entire Knicks team is better at every position. So that's what I'm saying. That's all. My microphone, as I got you got me so angry. I just
but it's
you're not understanding, and I feel like you're deliberately not understanding.
No. It's the NBA, and
do you get it? Talent wise, were the Knicks better talent wise, or
no?
Oh
Miami,
my God! Come on,
they won. They easily won.
Now you're just not being fair.
Bam and Butler proved that they were the better players. You want to argue Randle? So Randle is not good when it counts. I will let you give me that argument. Is Randle?
I already told you that Randle's not good when it counts.
Thank you.
I've said that before the season.
Randle's not good when it counts.
Yeah.
RJ Barrett, who was probably the 2nd best player on the team in this playoffs, is still inconsistent. Jalen Brunson was incredible. He is Kyrie Irving superstar level, but a good person and none of the bullshit. That's what you have with Jalen Brunson. Other than that, it wasn't enough to beat Miami.
It wasn't. Obviously, it wasn't. I'm not arguing that it was enough, like they beat them. I'm saying that talent-wise, they're better.
But Miami does this every year, and every Knicks fan would say this. This is the classic Knicks argument down 2-1. Knicks down 2-1. Whoa. Hold on. We're gonna come back. We'll win the series. But you gotta remember,
me. I was done. Remember, it was over. 2-1. It was over. I knew it.
Hey, you got to remember, this Miami team was in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They're battle tested.
Yeah.
2 years ago, they were in the bubble and they made it they made it to the finals. So this is not your classic 8 seed. So are they not your classic 8 seed, or are they not good enough? Because not your classic 8 seed is code for we're better than you.
Yeah, but that's the hypocrisy. We agree there. The hypocrisy of most Knicks fans was going into the series. Everybody was expecting the Knicks to win in 5 or 6. Like I even said 6, and I was confident. I'm like, they're gonna beat this team. And then, you can't, at the end of the series, to my credit, I want to pat myself on the back. I'm not like, oh, well, they were the better team. And you know what? They went to the Eastern Conference Finals. They went to the finals, blah, 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 blah. Jimmy Butler, Spoelstra, blah, 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 Riley, et cetera, et cetera. No, the Knicks were the better team on paper, in my opinion, and they should have beaten them very easily, in my opinion. And they only got by the Bucks because Giannis got hurt. They lost the play-in game. They almost weren't even in the regular playoffs. They're going to get stomped by the Celtics, and it's just going to be one of those situations where we're going to look back and be like, damn, we really missed an opportunity. Don't tell me also, Knicks fans, that, we'll be back next year. I don't know that. You don't know that. Look at the 2015 Mets, who suck right now, by the way. But the 2015 Mets were like, they'll be back. Yeah, they went back the next year. They're in the wild card, and then they disappeared off the face of the earth. So it's just same thing. It happens all the time. 2006 with the Mets, incredible team. NLCS, Beltran, the whole thing. We'll be back. Gone. You know what I mean? Like Knicks, 2013, Carmelo Anthony, 54 wins. Roy Hibbert blocks the shot. We'll be back. Gone. Don't tell me the Knicks are going to be back. I know they're young and they got some players, but this can be messed up very easily. 2 years ago, they were the 4 seed. They made some bad decisions in the offseason, and then they sucked. This year, they made some good decisions with Hartenstein and Brunson, and they got Josh Hart in the middle of the season, and they were good. But now, what's the next step? You got to get rid of Randle. It's enough already. And finally, like, the people on the outside actually watch more than 3 Knicks games in a year, like the Stephen A. Smiths of the world. So they finally realized, wow, this Randle guy stinks. And meanwhile, when he was out in game 1 versus Miami, right? He was out for that game. And they're like, after the game in the post game, like, the Knicks really missed Randle. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? The hypocrisy, the back and forth with you guys on ESPN. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. You guys just make shit up as it goes along, and then you act like you didn't say anything. So it's just, pay attention to the team like we do. Don't act like you're a Knicks fan when you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And now all of a sudden, they got a deal, Randle. Let's just dump him. Yeah, no fucking shit. This is the ceiling. And shout out to Doug, one of our big listeners and one of my favorite Twitter followers. He's a good guy, great guy, Doug B. He goes, I would like to shake this feeling that we went all in on a roster that won't be better than they were this season. Because now they traded a first-round pick for Josh Hart. They have no first-round pick because the Mavericks somehow fell into the top 10, and they got nothing. Nothing. So it's just like, now we have no assets this year. We have no picks. We have picks in the future, a bunch of protections that we proved last year are worth shit. So what is going to happen this year? We had Channing Frye on this podcast tell us that the Knicks are going to do something good next season. Okay, in this offseason, I mean, something big. He said they're going to sign something big. I mean, he might have been acquired, whatever. I don't know. In a trade, maybe, but I don't know. But you know what? Julius Randle has to be gone. He has to be gone, and you might have to attach picks to get rid of him. And now what? Now, what is going to happen? I don't know, but this offseason is going to tell you the next 3 to 5 years in the history of this franchise. And it hurts that a bunch of future potential Hall of Fame coaches are now available, and we're stuck with a 64-year-old Tibbs who did really well this year. He turned it around towards the end of the season. First round, he outcoached Bickerstaff like crazy. He got schooled by Spoelstra, whatever, but it sucks. You got Monty Williams, a Knicks draft pick out there, coach of the year, 2 of the last 4 years, coach of the year. You got Budenholzer out there, an NBA champion. I don't know if he wants to take a year off. We'll see. You got Nick Nurse out there. Doc Rivers, I don't want anything to do with, but you got all these great coaches out there that are just sitting there. You got somebody like Sam Cassell on the Sixers bench that would be a great coach, in my opinion. And we got Tibbs, who's building something with the Knicks, but is he? And he's old, and like, what? He's not going to be here in 5 years. Like, what are we doing? So I don't know, man. You got me all hyped up, and you got me on the rant, and you kept me going and whatever.
Well, good. If you're watching on YouTube, this is Bad Weather Fans. I'm holding up a piece of paper.
Can't see
Alex
it,
had a nice rant about the Knicks in their offseason. This is paper.
Yes.
And Alex said the Knicks are better than the Heat on paper. I'm holding paper. So let's talk. We can write. You want me to write on paper?
Yes.
Here's what I'm thrilled about. They
Yes.
don't play the games on paper.
Oh,
and
man,
in Alex's opinion,
I hate that
better.
expression.
They're better on this. Here, let's draw. Well, I'll draw a star. I can draw a star on paper. We can draw that classic.
Well, you know what, Mike? At least the series started in game 1 because the road team won the first game of the Knicks series.
It
so
did,
at least it
and in
started
truth,
the first one.
that game was the difference in this.
So,
series.
hey, listen, maybe your expression that you hate, that theory is true. Maybe that's true.
There it was. It completely was. And
because that game, they were not ready for the Knicks in that game. The Knicks like surprised them. And then ever since that game, the Heat knew what they were doing, and they were schooling the Knicks open jumper after open jumper in that game. for the rest of the series.
That's why I'm saying, like, they were the better basketball team. There's no debate. They beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
The
Knicks did play well in game 5. They beat them in game 5. Game 2 was a lucky win. Game 5 was a legit win, though.
It sounds
to be fair
to me like a Cavs fan saying, well, we had more talent. We had more wins.
Yeah.
Tell me that to a Knicks fan. Where if I was a Cav fan and I was talking about the talent on the roster, the talent of the Cavs on paper to the Knicks, what would any Knicks fan say to me if I made that argument?
You lost. That's it. You lost.
Thank you.
And I get it. I get
it. And
I'm not making excuses.
And to all the Knicks fans on here that are like, oh, Mike, you're trolling the Knicks. No shit. I hate them. And you have to remember from my context, and Alex could tell you this, when the Nets signed Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, there were no proclamations from me. There was no, this is our city.
A year or two in, though, there were the proclamations. They came once you saw them to play. Yeah.
There was hope they would win, but there was never from me like, and I've said this, the Nets run New York. You never got that.
No, because who cares?
And you
about
never
that
will,
shit.
or any of that kind of bullshit. So from me, I'm just like, okay, what do you want me not to want superstars? It didn't work. Obviously, it didn't work. But then when Knicks fans are coming after me, challenging me, now I'm at the point where you probably felt before. I'm like, well, fuck yeah, I'm going to be defensive. Well, fuck yeah, I'm going to celebrate the Knicks losses.
Right.
Yes, I'm going to enjoy them. They are beautiful. And now I'm invested in the Knicks losing because you came after me. I was a nice Net fan. I was a beautiful Net fan. I was minding my own business Net fan. But now everybody attacking Biseglia, attacking this. Now I will be defensive. Now I will be happy. Now I will be excited when my guy Bam defeats the Knicks and takes them out in 6 and puts an end to the damn bing bong. The witch is dead. The Knicks are gone. And I am going to enjoy it. And I said it on the last episode. The 2 best words in sports, because it's not going to be Nets championship, because shit, that's never going to happen, is Knicks eliminated.
There.
So with that, I will end it with one more thing. I've decided I had to read these tweets.
Okay. So we're reading tweets now.
Yeah, we're reading tweets because I'm all in on it. You had a really good tweet, and I respect your tweets because, God damn it, they do well. But you wrote on 4/29/23. This is at Nick Central. My official prediction, ... Knicks are beating the Heat in 6 game. If Hero and Oladipo were healthy, I would feel a little diff. But who was guarding? Was that because of space amount diff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Space.
But who was guarding Jalen Brunson, Gabe Vincent, Duncan Robinson, Max Strus? Laughing emoji. What's your official prediction? I mean, those guys killed the Knicks. I mean, they killed them.
They didn't guard Jalen Brunson. I was right about that. They didn't do a good job guarding him. That's for sure. He crushed it. But at the same time, I'm completely consistent with my point that I just thought that the Knicks were a better team on paper and they should have won.
But it's on the court that makes the difference.
Hey, listen, I was wrong. They lost, but I still think the Knicks had more talent.
I think the Cavs had more talent than the Knicks, but the Knicks they might have. Harry Potter at Bitcoin_Potter wrote Knicks in 4. DJ Trackstar wrote Knicks in 5 at worst. I could see a sweep. We match up extremely well against smaller teams. Julius being injured is the only barrier to this series going beyond 5. Oh, that's a fucking dumb point. No shot blocking. We dominated the rim, and we're going to demolish them on the boards. This is from Dark Polocious, DJ Polarati. Knicks in 6. Lowry can't match up with Brunson. The Heat bench is quiet.
Lowry.
Oh, the
fucking
Heat bench.
Lowry.
This is my favorite line. The Heat bench is quiet. The blue and orange will expose the Heat. This is from Mendoza Tweets. I agree, Knicks in 6, only because Randle isn't healthy for the first 1 or 2 games. This series, our second squad will flex. Yeah, you flexed out on that one. This is from 6-man Emmanuel Quickly. Yeah, that worked out. Knicks in 5. We too athletic. I could go on and on, but I will stop here and just expose 2 of them that really pissed me off. And I can't say who they are because I liked their tweets halfway through the series and they deleted their tweets. I don't know who they are because they know they fucked up.
Stand by your fucking tweets. Don't delete them.
Tweets. So I have more. That your tweet did so well. I could literally do this for an hour. I might do a spin-off podcast called Dumb Nick Dickhead Tweets about how they were going to beat the Heat that were wrong.
How many views did that tweet get? 100-something thousand? How much time did we say?
Man, it got a lot. Did really well. All your tweets have been doing really well.
Yeah, lately I've been crushing it.
This got 163,000 views.
Jesus.
I might have been 30,000 of them the last 24 hours.
Just now. Yeah.
So those are some of my tweets. Now we usually do, the Nick poll tweets. I'm just gonna do dickhead Nick response tweets. But boy, all those look bad.
They did. Joe, you know what else looked bad, Mike? You know what else looked bad?
Yeah, I know what looked bad.
Joe Tsai playing Linsanity documentary at the Barclays Center.
What a joke. That's a joke. How can that? I mean, it's terrible. It just shows how off base he feels about that he is about the franchise.
Right.
And you know what bugged me more was his defense of like MSG wouldn't do it. I don't know if he's telling the truth or not. I don't care.
But who cares?
That's their prerogative. They can do whatever you want. You don't play hype videos or Nick legend videos or Nick great moment videos in your arena. Could you imagine if the Jets were like, we're playing the Tom Brady greatest Super Bowls video? But because it's the Nets, it's like, okay, what? But if it was rational thinking, if the Giants were like, we're gonna play Troy Aikman's greatest games, it's so backwards. It's
right, and it wasn't like a 9/11 documentary. It wasn't like a 9/11 documentary where it's just like supersedes sports and it's all about us and the city and coming together. It was like a Nick documentary about a player coming out of nowhere and started off the run against the New Jersey Nets. You know what I mean? That's so like the best part about the whole thing.
Depressing.
So yeah, and if you're Joe Tsai and you want to do that, just don't even tweet. Because the whole thing of tweeting and defending it, now you look small. Nobody would know it was you that directed it. I get you want to do it for Asians, and it's a great story for them. And
of course,
it's a great story overall. It's a not rags to riches kind of a thing. I mean, the guy went to Harvard, not really rags to riches, but he went. He came out of nowhere in the NBA standards.
Star. Yeah.
And he became a star. And it's a great story. But, to then, say that you're doing it for Asians, fine. But then to say, like, because I'm doing it because MSG wouldn't show it. Like, first of all, MSG is not a movie theater, number one. Number two, the Knicks sponsored an event when they did a viewing party and had a Q&A with Jeremy Lin on MSG about the documentary when it came out. And they squashed their beef with him and they played MSG content, Jeremy Lin content on MSG for an entire week leading up to it. So don't play this game like the Knicks don't respect Jeremy Lin. They that's done. That's no longer there. Like, it doesn't happen anymore. It's over. So it just looked stupid. It looked like you were trying to use the Knicks for clout to try to save face, and you look dumb. Just don't tweet if you're him.
I don't know if the word's clout, but for me, it's trying to use the Knicks to save face.
Right.
The net fans, like, oh, Knick guys wouldn't do this. I got to swoop in. I'm like, come on.
And some net fans probably bought it, if the ones who aren't in tune with the whole thing, like, oh, look, stupid Knicks again, kind of a thing. But very few. Yeah.
But I think most net fans were just like,
what?
You can't put a hype Knicks video in your arena. Just makes us look little.
Right.
And it gives me less faith in ownership to do the right thing. And the big thing about Joe Tsai in the past has been not spending when it counts. If that was Spencer Dinwiddie coming back or getting Kyle Kuzma when they had an opportunity, those are the moments that sting. I mentioned this to you in text. Like, what I get frustrated now about is like the Kyrie lovers will now come out and be like, "Told you, guy's a moron. Kyrie Irving was right," and it's kind of like, how do you argue them after this?
Yeah,
and it won't matter in the short term, but I guess in the long term, you just look at this and you go, this is a pathetic move. And if this was any other team, it would be, if this was the Giants doing a Cowboys video, if this was the Yankees doing a hype video about the Red Sox, like, this would be, you would look at this as a joke. But it's the Nets and the Knicks, and this should get national attention as a joke. And it's embarrassing as a Net fan.
It's something the Mets would do in a way to bring it back to baseball again for some reason.
So, Mets.
the old Mets with the Wilpon Mets, which they actually did it. I couldn't remember. I was trying to look it up. I don't remember the exact situation. Evan Roberts will probably tell us. But Mariano Rivera, he had some big save at Citi Field. I don't know if it broke the saves record or was like his 500th save or something like that. The Mets donated the rubber to the Yankees, gave Rivera the rubber, and then at the ceremony a couple days later at Yankee Stadium, they're like, yeah, thanks for the Mets for giving us this rubber. If I'm the Mets, I'm not giving you the damn rubber. Like, screw you, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why would you do something like that? But at least that, it kind of, there's a little bit of rational thinking there. I know where you're going to go.
Way more.
Yeah, but still, it's just like, you think if Edwin Diaz got the single season save record and the last save was at Yankee Stadium, that the Yankees are gonna be like, here's the rubber, Mets. Like, no, they're not gonna do that. It's just very like little brother-ish kind of a thing. And it's just what are you doing?
There's no argument. Yeah. It's beyond little brother. It's pathetic.
Right.
It's not, not if you don't
do it.
It's all fun and games, obviously. I understand that with the Knicks, right? Like, this is not real problems. But you don't promote Knick history. Call it what you want and have your feelings on Jeremy Lin. I know there's a big spectrum of people, how they feel about it. But it is a fabric of the Knick DNA and their history. There's no doubt about that. We do not promote Knick history where the Nets play. Please don't do that. Please.
Right.
That's not, and again, it's not that big of a deal.
And he played for the Nets for 5 minutes, Jeremy Lin, then blew out his knee. It wasn't like he was this Net for 5 years after that. You know what I mean? Where you can kind of rationalize something like that, where the Nets might be part of the story. You know what I mean? But he was a pimple on the ass of Jeremy Lin's career with his Net tenure.
Well, he got hurt, and then Dinwiddie. That's when Dinwiddie got more run and actually helped him develop. Is when he all of a sudden was like, "All right, you're going to get a lot more minutes now because the point guard we signed isn't available," and that's what actually helped Dinwiddie get more minutes and become a player that earned himself a $20 million a year contract. But you won't get no argument from me on that. And the final thing we'll agree on here is the Knicks now not showing their media again. This after the season ended, of course, now a much better end to the season for the Knicks than in previous season. Knicks got to the second round. I know Knicks fans are angry and upset, but when the dust all settles, and joking aside,
it was a good season.
They had a good season. They got the second round of the playoffs. It's disappointing because they lost to an 8 seed, an overachieving 8 seed, but still disappointing. But I respect the Knicks for not bringing out the media, and that's just their policy now. If they brought them out after they played well, I would have been like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me!"
Bunch of frauds.
At least they were like, "We don't do it." I don't agree with it, but I respect it.
Right.
After winning, if they were to bring them out after having their first good year, and now be like, all right, here's Leon Rose. Now, I know you agree with me, so I want to hear your opinion on it, but I'm curious on one question with it. If Julius Randle had a great playoffs, but the Knicks go to 7, Randle's awesome, but they lose, right? It's not Julius Randle. Is Jimmy Butler puts on a 60 performance and it is what it is. You think they changed their policy?
No. I think Leon Rose doesn't want to do press conferences. I think it's his thing. He didn't do it. There was no introductory press conference for Leon Rose. There was no press conference after, the first season when they went to the 4 seed, his first full season when he was the 4 seed. There was no press conference after last year when they sucked. There was no press conference this year after the second round. He maybe met the media on a Zoom call once. I think maybe that might have happened once. I could be wrong.
He did the Alan Hahn thing.
Yeah. Besides the MSG fluff piece with Alan Hahn or Nick Pito or whoever the hell is over there, something like that. But Bill Pito, not Nick Pito, is combining people. It's just, I respect it because we came on this show maybe last year and we were like, how are you not speaking to the media? How do you not speak to the media? You stink. We need to hear from you. What's your plan? Make me feel better as a fan. I need to hear these questions. I need the reporters to push back. I need this. And we said, don't come now talking when you start winning. And they didn't. So props to them for that. You got to respect that. I mean, in a weird way, you got to respect that.
You do. Cause it's like,
this is who you are.
Keep it consistent. If you're not going to be the talking, you're not the talking. But you can't pick and choose where you feel comfortable to speak.
Right.
You're not going to speak. You're not going to speak. Now Knicks make a finals run, the guy's got to speak, right? Like,
listen, you're at the championship parade. It's okay to talk now. Like, it doesn't matter. You can do anything. You can walk around assless. I mean, pantsless, not assless. If you, I hope you have an ass, but like, walk around pantsless.
But now we know why Leon Rose hasn't spoke to the media. The man has no butt. Alex B has just confirmed Leon Rose no ass. It's just straight line. Wow, just you heard it here first. Bad Weather Fans breaking news on episode 172. You hear that, Mark Berman? You hear that?
It's like
Stephen Bondi.
Coneheads. It's no butt.
No ass for Leon Rose.
On that note,
no ass Rose.
I got nothing.
I'm so glad we're just not doing. It's like the Nets are done. The Knicks are done, and now it's it's the Spurs world.
Just stop with the Porzingis shit, man. Stop with the Porzingis.
We'll talk about that next episode.
Yes. Spurs win the lottery, of course. I was hoping Portland would win it when they got to top 4, but Spurs win the lottery again. They got David Robinson, Duncan, and now Wemby. And the Knicks
they were terrible this year, so it's not like.
The Knicks are always terrible, and when they have the lottery pick, I mean, or they're there's teams that like the Pelicans won the lottery with 30 something games, and they got Zion.
Right.
The Grizzlies got Morant, 30 something games, and meanwhile the Knicks got RJ Barrett and probably got the most consistent player, and the player that's going to be in the NBA in a couple of years.
By the way, I would still, if I were the Knicks, straight up trade RJ Barrett for John Morant.
No fucking way.
I would do it.
No way.
I think the upside is still higher than what you're getting. I would
no
still
way.
do it.
You're inviting a bomb into your organization.
Alex, have you met me?
You love that. I don't know. You love these get rich quick schemes.
Damian Lillard, let's bring it on. Think I'm kidding?
You think you would have learned your lesson by now? Durant, Kyrie, Harden, Ben Simmons.
I've got an addiction problem to stars. What do you want? I love these guys.
Darren Williams.
I'm addicted.
Bring
to
them all in. Yeah.
No, I seriously would still take the chance.
Yeah.
Because I think the upside of him is just worth it.
We'll see. No, I would trade for Zion. I would trade for Zion before I would trade for
I would agree on that. I would agree on that.
Yeah.
I would agree on that.
That might be the big move, honestly. The sneaky big move is just to like Pelicans got to be tired. The Pelicans got to be tired of Zion.
It's gonna be Alex. It's gonna be a crazy offseason.
Something's gonna happen.
Doesn't it feel like it's gonna be nuts?
Yeah,
it's gonna be a crazy offseason.
It is.
New CBA. All these teams kind of now. Anybody feels like they can win. Right. It's not like before where it was like the Warriors have this thing is over. Or now it's like I think Denver feels like they could. I mean, Denver
might win the championship this year.
But it feels like any year anybody can win. And going into these playoffs, you thought the Sixers, the Celtics, the Bucks, obviously,
right?
The Nuggets, the Suns. It felt like all these teams could win. Name more of them. And you look at the Eastern Conference and Western Conference Finals. You have a 7 seed and an 8 seed. A lot of upsets.
It's true. That is true. We'll see what happens. But anyway, good episode, Mike. Yeah.
Yes. And Harden, Durant, and Irving all gone.
All gone.
All gone.
All gone. And Ben Simmons is trolling somehow in some way.
What a dumb troll.
Dude, he doesn't care. He just doesn't care. He's just rich and just doesn't care.
No shame. Any net fan that's defending that, like, we got them. Guys, this is pathetic.
Yes.
The guys, don't you as net fans care about the results on the court?
Right.
That's what matters, not his Instagram troll game. Like, he poured a glass of Merlot. Wow. And he watched the Sixers. That's what he does all the time. But yeah, that gives me less confidence in him.
He was also trolling the Nets in a weird way too. Like, thanks for the money, assholes.
That was just pathetic. God.
Anyway.
Bad look. And for people on
Bad Weather
Twitter,
fans. Yes.
Mike Delivers Pod at Nick Central. I tweeted out a photo of that scenario. That is not my house.
No, it is not.
Ben Simmons' house.
And at Bad Weather Fans.
I just cropped the photo.
Yes.
Yeah, follow the show. All right. This has been episode 172. The show where the Knicks are gone. Adios. See you later. Nets gone. Knicks gone. And we move forward to episode 173. We'll break down and give a little preview of the offseason. What do we think is going to happen? Will Kristaps Porzingis be back in New York? But will it be with the Nets? Will it be with the Knicks? We'll detail all of that. It's coming up on the next episode. Don't forget, everybody, follow us on Twitter, as we mentioned, at Mike Delivers Pod, at Nick Central, at Bad Weather's Fan, and check us out on YouTube, Bad Weather Fan. Watch the video version of this podcast where you can see me whip out my paper.
Whoa.
Podcast. No, I
Yes.
didn't. I did
Not the other P word. Yes.
No, the other P word, penis. You did not see penis on this podcast. But if you do watch this, you can see another P word. Alex's Patrick. Oh, you saw you figured it out. You're catching on. Your Patrick Ewing shirt.
Patrick Ewing. Yes, exactly.
Patrick Ewing. See, I got the cadence down.
You do.
I've seen enough.
You have.
Can you do? Can I do all of them? All right, we'll save this. I'm ranting now. All right, Alex. Episode 172. Good stuff all around. Goodbye, Knicks.
Bye.
It was so nice seeing you, but you're gone. Let it burn.